Our 2024 Grand Adventure camping season was perhaps our most ambitious one yet. We towed our fifth wheel for over 10,000 towing miles, camping in 25 U.S. states and 4 Canadian provinces, and in the process completing our camping map of the lower 48 states. We'll share our 10 favorite destinations of our 2024 camping season with you in this episode of Grand Adventure, so stay tuned. This episode of Grand Adventure is sponsored by etrailer.com, where you'll find thousands of products for RVing, towing, camping, outdoor recreation, vehicles, boating, and more. Use the link down below in the video description to shop eTrailer with Grand Adventure. Wow, 2024 was quite the year for Grand Adventure. We camped in national parks, we camped in state and provincial parks, we camped in private RV campgrounds, we camped in harvest hosts. One thing we didn't get to do this year, which is our favorite mode of camping, is boondocking. We're going to try to get back to more of that this coming season in 2025. We tried really hard to narrow it down to our 10 favorites from 2024, but we've compiled the list for you, and we're going to present it to you in tonight's episode. If you would like to learn more about any of these individual destinations, we'll link to the full episode on each destination down below in the video description, so you can click through to find out more. So without any further ado, let's get started. Coming in at number 10 was a unique harvest host in rural Henderson, North Carolina, the Raleigh Road Outdoor Theater. How often do you get to camp in the back row of a drive-in movie? Originally built in 1949 as the Moonglow Outdoor Theater, Raleigh Road is the oldest of only 6 drive-in movie theaters still operating in the state. They're also a harvest host and allow RV campers to spend the night in the back 2 rows of the theater complex. We caught a September screening of Beetlejuice when we filmed our episode 381. The theater has been in continuous operation for 75 years. They've kept things affordable for local families, presenting a double feature tonight with tickets costing only $10 per adult and charging very reasonable prices for a full menu of meals and snacks at the theater's concession stand. For our number 9, we've picked the Natchez Trace Parkway, which spanned 3 separate Grand Adventure episodes, 385, 386, and 387. The Trace is a 444-mile-long unit of the National Park Service that follows the route of the historic Natchez Trace, a forest trail linking the Cumberland, Tennessee, and Mississippi rivers. Created by the native Choctaw and Chickasaw, early European and American explorers, traders, and immigrants used the Natchez Trace in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. European Americans founded inns, also known as stands, along the Trace to serve food and lodging to travelers. Its heyday began in the 1770s and ended in the 1820s, with travel in that era taking 2 to 3 weeks. 2024, we spent a week making our way from one end of the Trace to the other. The Trace is a wonderfully relaxing route to travel. This 2-lane road sees barely any traffic, at least during our October visit. There are no traffic lights or stop signs along its entire length. Except at either end, the speed limit is a steady 50 miles per hour, and the curves are very gradual, allowing one to sit back and set the cruise control even while towing. And there are numerous fascinating historical and natural sites along the way, with plenty of RV parking at which to stop, learn, and stretch your legs. Coming in at number 8 for us is New York's Finger Lakes, a group of 11 long, narrow, roughly north-south oriented lakes located directly south of Lake Ontario in upstate New York. For our episode 360, we spent a week in May, mooch-docking on a friend's 30 acres at their southern end, outside the college town of Ithaca. Here, small towns and villages dot an agrarian landscape that is now home to New York State's largest wine-producing region. Deep cutting by glacial erosion left some tributaries hanging high above the lakes, which have since eroded their way down through the layered shale, limestone, and sandstone ancient seabed of the Finger Lakes uplands, often with truly spectacular results. There are numerous spectacular hikes available here, ranging from in-town hikes along hidden gorges to the famed 400-foot deep gorge of Watkins Glen State Park. We'll be right back with 7 more of our top RV camping destinations, immediately following a brief message from our valued video sponsor, etrailer. So stay tuned. Whether you need products for your RV, boat, trailer, vehicle, hunting and fishing, off-roading, and more, our video sponsor eTrailer has you covered. Best of all, you'll find over 100 US-based enthusiast customer service reps ready to help via phone, chat, or email, both before and after the sale. These folks have used themselves the products that you're shopping for, and you won't find a more knowledgeable team anywhere to help you with your outdoor project. Click the link down below in the video description to shop etrailer.com with Grand Adventure. There's something special about the Jersey Shore in summer. And to close out our summer, we arrived on Labor Day at the state's southern tip to film our episode 378 in Cape May. Cape May, our 7th favorite stop in 2024, is unique along the Jersey Shore. The city claims to be the oldest seaside resort in the nation, with historical roots dating back to 1766, when Philadelphians arrived by stagecoach, ship, and horse-drawn wagon. Hotels were already established on Cape May as early as 1834. Many of the buildings throughout the town today are original late Victorian structures that have been maintained in pristine condition. The Cape May Historic District encompasses an area of 380 acres, containing over 600 buildings, many of which operate as small inns. Of course, there's the stereotypical Jersey Shore available here too, right down the road in the Wildwoods, where some 200 motels were built in a unique space-age architectural style during the doo-wop era of the 1950s and 1960s. Camping in the Ozark Mountains along Arkansas's Buffalo National River has long been on my bucket list, and we finally made that wish a reality in October for our episode 389. A unit of the National Park Service, the Buffalo River runs for 153 miles, unencumbered by any dams or other impoundments. From the highest part of the Boston Mountains of the Ozarks, out onto the Springfield Plateau and a portion of the Salem Plateau, before joining the White River outside Buffalo City, Arkansas. It's a very popular camping, hiking, canoeing, kayaking, and fishing destination. There are spectacular hikes here, including one to a massive natural cave called Indian Rock House. One can also explore the region's zinc mining history through numerous remains and artifacts, like here in the mining ghost town of Rush. Our 2024 camping season also included our first foray into Canada. And 3 of our 4 favorite destinations this year took place in the 4 Canadian provinces that we visited in the Canadian Maritimes. 5 hours east of Quebec City, Quebec's Gaspé Peninsula begins to form along the south shore of the St. Lawrence, where the river widens to form the Gulf of St. Lawrence as it flows into the Atlantic Ocean. We visited to film our episode 365 here in June, camping between the coastal communities of Cap-Chat and Saint-Anne-des-Monts for our 5th favorite destination of 2024. This sparsely populated region called Gaspésie is home to only 140,000 residents, spread over nearly 12,000 square miles, with most of them hugging the peninsula's coastline. Historically, the economy of Gaspésie focused on fishing, agriculture, and forestry. However, in recent years, the region has also begun to focus more on tourism and the services industry. The peninsula's interior is a rugged northward continuation of the Appalachian Mountains called the Chic-Chocs, with some peaks exceeding 4,000 feet above sea level within Gaspésie National Park. Assateague Island National Seashore has also long been a bucket list destination of mine, and we checked that box as well this year during our September visit to film Grand Adventure episode 380, our 4th favorite stop of the year. This unit of the National Park Service occupies the vast majority of an uninhabited 37-mile barrier island along the Atlantic Ocean, straddling Maryland and Virginia. It's the largest natural barrier island ecosystem in the mid-Atlantic that remains predominantly unaffected by human development, which is precisely why we wanted to come here. bands of feral horses freely roam Assateague Island. Out west, you have to work to find roaming herds of wild horses. But here on Assateague Island, they seem to pop up virtually everywhere. Some of the best sea kayaking in the Mid-Atlantic is available here on Sinnapunxet Bay, which separates Assateague Island from the Maryland mainland. Are you ready for our top 3 RV camping destinations of 2024? We'll share those with you immediately following a quick ad break to pay the bills, so stay tuned. We also camped on an island for our episode 371, filmed in July along Nova Scotia's South Shore at Graves Island Provincial Park, our 3rd favorite stop of the season. The southern shore of Nova Scotia is a jagged stretch of Atlantic Ocean coastline, dotted by numerous offshore islands, and deep bays and harbors that extend well inland between long peninsulas. The scenery here is nothing short of stunning. Camping at Graves Island is also just a short drive from the capital city of Halifax. the province's most populous municipality, where you can enjoy ample shopping, fine dining, and fascinating history. The Canadian province of Prince Edward Island is home to our favorite campground in all of 2024 and our second favorite stop overall. For our episode 369, we camped at Campbell's Cove Campground near the far eastern end of PEI in late June and early July. We chose Campbell's Cove very deliberately for its small size, remote location, and proximity to a broad beach filled with fine white sand dotted by some of the island's namesake red sandstone rocks. The staff at Campbell's Cove Campground could not have been more welcoming, right down to the owners Charles and Stella, who we welcomed into our campsite almost nightly during cocktail hour to share local tips and tidbits. We truly felt like part of the family throughout our entire week here. Prince Edward Island is decidedly rural, an enticing mix of forests, farmlands, and coastal cliffs and beaches. Rolling hills, woods, reddish-white sand beaches, ocean coves, and its famous red soil have given Prince Edward Island a reputation as a province of outstanding natural beauty. The economy here is dominated by the seasonal industries of small-scale agriculture, tourism, and commercial fishing. The sea surrounding PEI helps to moderate any temperature extremes, with an average daytime high temperature of 73 degrees Fahrenheit during the peak summer months of July and August. It's an ideal place to avoid the hazy heat and humidity that often envelops other parts of the East Coast. And now, on to number one. No destination that we visited in 2024 offered the diversity of things to see and do in such stunning natural beauty as the village of Percé. Situated at the far eastern tip of Quebec's Gaspésie Peninsula, Percé got its name from this 289-foot tall island just off its shores that's one of the province's most recognizable landmarks. However, this charming small resort town remains little known to Americans. Founded as a seasonal fishing center during the New France era, a complete tourism industry has developed in Percé. Percé Rock and Bonaventure Island together form a national park, and the massive northern gannet colony on Bonaventure Island has to be seen to be believed. Other tourism offerings surrounding Percé include excursions to view North Atlantic right whales, a UNESCO-accredited geopark, and numerous restaurants, pubs, and boutiques lining the town's main thoroughfare, where Quebec's famed local cuisine is on full display. We spent one full week in Percé and could have easily spent two. Like I said, 2024 was quite a year, and thank you very much for coming along on this retrospective. Once again, if you would like to learn more about any of these individual destinations, you can click right through via the link down below in the video description to each individual episode. We're now stationary until the end of April, when we'll get back on the road for our 2025 season. In the meantime, we'll keep bringing you new episodes of Grand Adventure each and every Wednesday, but we'll be focusing primarily on how-tos and gear reviews and things of that nature until then. But next week, we're going to bring you along to our Q25 RV rally down in Quartzsite, Arizona that we just returned from. So if you're not yet a Grand Adventurer, now is the time for you to go smash that little subscribe button, the one right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, and ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss a grand adventure. We'd be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. Understand it's extremely important to us that if you liked this episode, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up down below. And also while you're down below, that's where you'll find the comment section where we'd love to hear from you each week. So until next Wednesday, with an episode from Q25, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.